Welcome to Diary of a Holistic Nutritionist. Let me invite you on a journey, a lifestyle journey into health and beauty through nutrition. We heartily welcome our returning subscribers and the new ones. Please press the notification button and subscribe so that you'll be the first to know when we have a new episode. We have been talking about fats and oils as very important to health. And now we spoke about some nuances, or shall I say, some important issues to note in our last episode. We want to talk about 3 of these important issues. The 3 important issues are the level of refinement of the oil, the level of processing, the smoke point of the oil, and the level of oxidation the oil can withstand. That is oxidative stability. We'll try to break down these issues so that they become easy for everyone to go along with. Remember, we are trying to start from what you know into what you don't know. And we're trying to make as simple as possible things you might not have known before. So now, these 3 important issues will help you in selecting oils that are good for health. Remember, we're talking health, we're talking beauty, and we are using wellness as a way of reaching them. So we said we will start with talking about the level of processing. I'm sure if you go to the market, you probably will see an array of oils in different sizes and different shades of the color that oils take. And sometimes it becomes a problem to select which one is good for you. So when we talk about level of processing, when the manufacturer picks an oil, he picks it in the raw state, not in the state you see it in the bottle, well labeled and looking nice. He picks it in the raw state, and then he begins a process. He can use heat, he can use chemical, he can use pressure. He can use a combination of all of this. What does he want to do? He wants to get the oil to present in a way that is attractive to you. But you want to buy an oil based on the fact that it can help you maintain health. At least that's the major issue here. So now we have 2 things that are not going in the same direction. The person wants to sell oil, the manufacturer is processing it for a particular reason. The person who wants to use the oil is buying the oil for the reason of promoting health. And so we stand between these 2 extremes. I want to bridge them. Anytime an oil is refined, it loses something good in it. That is just a basic thing we must all understand. So once the oil is refined, it loses something. And it loses something that makes it not as good for your body as it would have been if it were not so refined. So the dilemma of someone who goes to the market to buy oil is knowing how to choose oil. The first question you ask yourself, what do I want to do with this oil? Am I making salad and I just want to drip some oil with some herbs and things in it? Or I want to put the oil on fire and subject it to heat before using it. Once you've answered that, it becomes easier for you to choose the oil you want. But let me backtrack a little, that if For example, you want to cook oil and you want to use high heat to cook it. Like, you know, many of the things we eat, we put the oil through a lot of heat. And especially when you fry oil, the oil is not good for human health by the time you are cooking the food you put in it. So this processing we're talking about is very, very important that it is minimal. Processing makes the oil break. The fatty acids in it will begin to break down. As they break down, the oil begins to form all sorts of chemicals. And some of those chemicals are actually not good for the human health. So how can we bridge the gap between the manufacturer and the person who is eating for health and beauty? We can do one or two things. We can look at the level of processing of the oil. And we can look for oil that are not as processed. Sometimes you look at a bottle of maybe olive oil, even coconut, and they tell you it's unrefined, or sometimes they call it virgin. They are referring to the level of processing. So it is important that we do this. The health system is supposed to make this information available to us. But sometimes there is a gap between research and passing knowledge. So you need to watch programs such as our own so that you get latest research that will help you in your choices. And as you do this, you begin to know which oil that you can use for what. And we are going to keep, like, we have two more to discuss because there are three. Now we have talked about processing. And we have given a reason for processing oil. And we have given a reason for you to make sure you don't buy oil that is highly processed. It's much the same reason we give for you not to eat processed foods, because processing makes these things different and make them not fit for human consumption, or for health, I should say. So we will stop at this. And we are saying the onus is on you to find out the best oil for what you want to cook. So you go to the market already knowing what you are buying the oil for. And so you look at the level of processing. The least processed oil is the best oil you can use for health. And so we are asking you to talk with us and ask us questions. Let's know about the oil that you use for your cooking, how you choose your oil, what are the things you look out for. I'm sure you don't just go to the market and pick any oil. There must be some thought processes going on in your mind. What do you think about when you're choosing the oil that you want to use? We're asking you to like us and to subscribe and to keep discussing our programs and to ensure that you leave a comment below. So we're saying that until the next time that you remember, wellness is the basis of health and beauty. See you then.